Thank you guys so much for tuning in to NStyleAtlanta.com. It is always my pleasure to get a chance to hang out with you guys, and we've got some great stuff coming up. I am Sky, and we have special guest, returning host, we love you so much, Miss Merritt. Welcome.
Hello, how are you? Oh, I get a round of applause.
Yes.
Hi, how are you? I'm good. How are
going
you?
on, girlfriend?
I know, right? I leave Atlanta and move to New York. I get married. I have a baby. Life's been good. It's been busy, but it's been good. It's been really good. I'm super happy to be back and here and a guest.
Yes, he's special guest at that. We love having you back. So hopefully you won't be a stranger. Come back. We love you so much.
I love y'all too.
Got a lot of good stuff today. A fabulous lady. When I was looking at her bio, I was like, this woman is incredible. We need definitely more than 10 minutes with her. I mean, such an extensive background. It's Miss Tami LaTrell. She is multi-platinum, Grammy-nominated singer. I believe she's also a singer. She's a songwriter. She's written for people like Whitney Houston, Keisha Cole, Monica, SWV, Rotimi, and that's just to name just a few. She's also launched the Mezzo Agency back in 2018, which is a music publishing, administration, and licensing company. This woman is so phenomenal. I cannot wait to bring her on. She's in our virtual waiting room. I think she might be ready. Miss Tami, are you ready? And look who has joined us. Miss Tami. Hello and welcome to NStyle Atlanta.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. I follow you guys. I love everything I have going on, and I'm just so honored to be a part of your show.
Huh, you're honored to be part of our show. Look, let me tell you, honey, your background, you are amazing. Yeah. And you have a kiddo, right?
Yeah, I have a 2-year-old.
How old?
12.
So 12
in November. Yeah, I'm not ready.
Girl, I have a 20-year-old, so it just you wait.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And my daughter turns 1 tomorrow. I'm not ready. Not ready. I was crying earlier. I'm not prepared.
I promise you, ladies, it gets easy. But Tami, oh my gosh, I really want to talk about your journey because you're so amazing. When I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I need more than 10 minutes with her, Ms. Simmons. Like 10 minutes? Are you serious? There's no way. So I really want to talk about that journey because I believe you were in the corporate realm working for Radio 1, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And then you just said, you know what, I'm going into my purpose. I'm going and taking this full-fledged. I really want to talk about that journey, what that looks like, and just, you know, how you help so many songwriters, so many artists.
Yeah.
I love it.
Absolutely. Yes. So, you know, I had already been a songwriter. I started actually songwriting at 16, 17 years old. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. Hey. And, you know, that whole journey was great because I was an artist, indie artist. I was in a girl group before. And as an indie artist, I signed with the indie label, but things didn't work out. And so I ended up going to school at Texas Southern University, my alma mater. And I found out that when I had left the label, they actually sold my song to Whitney Houston. And I didn't know about it until my mom called me and said that, yeah, Whitney Houston's on the radio singing your song, turn it on so you can hear it. And so that was really my introduction into the business of music. All my life, I just knew I wanted to be a singer. You know, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be what I saw when I was younger, looking at Whitney Houston singing, you know, and she was my idol. And so that was my introduction into the business, which really woke me up at a very young age that I needed to learn and understand more about the field that I'm desiring to be in. And so I worked as a songwriter from the age of 17 professionally. 18 is when I got my publishing deal right after the Whitney Houston situation because I was able to get my royalties. I own the copyright, and so
Good.
I got in that situation.
Thank God.
As a teenager, that's
Come on.
amazing.
And so from there, it just kind of evolved to where now I'm just a full-time writer. So I'm writing and traveling and working with different production companies, and my publisher, they're sending me on different writing sessions and just traveling the country all while I'm in college. And, you know, around 2006, right when I graduated, I was like, okay, I need to move to Atlanta. 2001 to 2006, all I did was, I was just a songwriter. But I got married to my ex-husband. He was my college sweetheart. And so I moved back to Houston like a year and a half later. And, and so I fell in love, and, you know, we met my daughter and everything. And so I got married, and, you know, royalties were they were just not coming like they used to, because by that time the economy had crashed about 2008, 2009, 2010. That's when all that happened. And so I was like, yeah, I might have to get a job, because.
So at what point did you say, you know what, I'm going to leave this behind and step into my purpose?
I think I knew after I decided to move back to Atlanta. Unfortunately, my ex-husband and I decided to divorce and part ways, but we're still like the best of friends now. We have a great co-parenting relationship. And so that was in 2013. So I just was like, I really want to move back to Atlanta, because for one, I miss being in the studios and working and having as much work as I did. I didn't consider the fact that we did go through an economic, you know, decline. And then the emergence of digital music came about, you know, so no one was really buying physical copies anymore and all that stuff. So I didn't really think that far into it. I just knew that I needed to be back into the environment of where my creativity was cultivated. And that was what Atlanta did for me. From all the different relationships that I was able to build with other songwriters and producers who were a part of the publishing company, Sony ATV Music Publishing, and even just, you know, your up and coming songwriters and producers and executives who were working for different companies. You were able to build such a community here, you know, and that's how I felt. And I just wanted to be immersed back into that type of environment. So thankfully, I was able to transfer my job from Radio 1 Houston to Radio 1 Atlanta. And so I worked with the Ricky Smiley Morning Show for 2 years. And so that was phenomenal, because I was the national producer. I got a chance to really help create and produce a lot of the content that was coming out of the studios behind the scenes, you know. And then I became a manager. So I'm now managing, you know, 5 different markets with, I think, about 7 or 8 content producers under me at a time. So now I'm like really not getting any rest. I'm overworked. I'm like not having any energy to come home and create and get in the studio or write a song or anything, you know. And I just desired more. And so about 2017, I had already written my letter of resignation in January. I really just put my head down, thought about the ideas that I could do, because I didn't quite know that it was going to evolve into Mezzo Agency, which is, you know, my company now. But I knew that it was going to be back into the business of music, because I was already teaching workshops for songwriters and producers, helping them understand the business. I was already, I had a YouTube following already, you know, viewers that had been going to my page to learn about split sheets and publishing and copyright and sound exchange and BMI and ASCAP. And I can just go on and on about everything else. But that really was already a platform that was just kind of growing its own legs. And so it really allowed me to see that there was opportunity there, you know?
Right.
And
so many people, especially in Atlanta, where you have a lot of artists who need help because they do not know.
Right.
And so you said you offered like the workshops. So tell us a little bit maybe about some of the workshops that you offer.
Yeah.
What are you teaching them?
Yeah. So initially the workshops were just kind of like breaking down the basics of why it's important to protect your work. And I would tell the story a lot about, you know, the whole Whitney Houston situation and how it was just a huge shock for me. But in addition to that, it started to evolve because people were not only learning about copyright and the importance of protecting your music and just being very careful about when you're submitting records, you know, how often you need to copyright while you're creating and so forth. But then it was just down to the money because, as you know, the music industry got hit with the decline of CD sales. And so we're not making money off of $9.99 to $16.99 CDs anymore. We're like making money off of streams that are worth like 0.004 cents, you know, a stream.
Yeah.
And so that whole mindset shift was like, okay, I want to be a songwriter, but a lot of these songwriters out here are complaining that they're not getting paid what they used to get paid. So help us understand how this works, you know? And so then I really started doing more studying into, you know, the landscape of what it looks like now, and just helping to shed light on that, and then talking about publishing, because ultimately that's what it is. That's how we eat as songwriters, you know.
Yeah,
publishing. In the publishing. If you don't have publishing, any type of ownership, and you're not collecting money off of the work that has been commercially released that you own, I mean, you might as well like not let songwriting be your thing, because that's where the money can be if you really put the attention and focus there. But also you can leverage your publishing, which is what I teach now, with helping people understand the different types of publishing you can collect and how to set it up for yourself as a songwriter who's independent, who may not be signed to a major publisher like I am, you know? And so that's how the Mezzo came about, because there's a different shift now where songwriters and producers are not trying to get these huge deals anymore. They don't want to be in debt. You know, they want to just have someone to coach them along the process, develop them, help them manage their catalog, not take their ownership, not take their publishing, but really, you know, from the ground level, help them with getting organized. And so that's how the Mezzo Agency was founded. I started it in the end of 2018.
And now look at it. And like you said, there's different, you know, because the streaming is definitely, you know, there's Spotify, there's YouTube, TikTok. I mean, just so many things, you know, I think that people forget, but that's money that's lost.
Yeah.
And so that's something that you help them with.
None of them have unclaimed royalties. They just didn't know that there was more money out there outside of BMI and ASCAP. They're just used to waiting on a BMI check or waiting on an ASCAP check. And there are way more royalties than that. So it's like me teaching them was just kind of, you know, eye-opening, like, wow, like I didn't know that I could get money from YouTube. I didn't know that I could get royalties from, you know, my songs being played in, you know, on XM satellite radio if I am the copyright owner, or I may be also the artist who wrote the song. You know, I can make money off of Pandora. I didn't know that. You know, just so many different areas of money that was sitting out there that has been unclaimed. And still to this day, it's a lot because people just don't know the business.
So actually in that same vein, I'm curious, you know, we're in a very challenging, different time right now, right? with COVID-19. And so I'm curious around like artists and songwriters and producers, how are they surviving given that there's a pandemic? If they can't record, if they can't perform, is it similar to what you were talking about before? I'm just, how are they surviving? And is there anything that we can do if we have a favorite artist that we can support as well?
Absolutely. Well, I'll answer that first. If you have a favorite artist, support your artist as if they're independent, as if it is ground level, ground zero. They are starting out. You love their music. So that means buying their merch. That means, you know, streaming their music over and over again, you know, supporting whatever efforts their label or themselves as artists are promoting, because yes, we are all in this together, and each of us are all trying to figure out how we're going to, you know, continue our work in different times, you know, in a different time. And so I would say, by all means, support your artists. They need it now more than ever. Spotify has created a donate link even on each of the artist pages that are on there that can be activated by the artist or the label. And so you can even make donations to your artists now, which I think is so great, because a lot of them do survive off of touring and you know, really being able to reach out and touch their fans. And so we just have to be creative and more creative now at the same time without compromising our health. But that is one thing that fans can do, is support their favorite artists and, you know, just really be tapped into what they have going on. If they're doing a live show and it's going to be online, purchase the ticket, you know, really, you know, it may be in studio, in the house, you know, now instead of being live on stage, but, you know, a little bit goes a long way if they are really having to get the support that they need. And I would say what else they're doing, a lot of them are working tirelessly on new projects because, you know, it's kind of like, hey, this is some downtime for me to create a new album and just kind of take people behind the scenes at how this process works. A lot of them are also songwriting and working on other projects that may not necessarily be their project, but they're collaborating more and working with other artists that are in their same boat, you know, just trying to get together and get behind something that, whether it's charitable or whether it is a new album that they're working on, just so that they can, you know, have money coming in from multiple sources. Also, of course, fundraising opportunities that they're getting behind because, you know, it's good for press and marketing to have your face and your brand attached to a good cause, which is very strategic, right? But they're also working with their management teams and just trying to figure out how to navigate this new space in ways that are creative yet lucrative, because as we know, it's gonna probably be a while before we are able to just go to a festival and, you know, be everywhere, you know, we want Rome free. Right. So yeah, just really just trying to be strategic.
What are you working on right now? What are you doing?
So right now I'm in the middle of recording. I just moved the mic out the way, but it was clearly the mic when I first logged on. I'm working on a song. We have an event called Make Music Day that's going to be coming up in June. I'll be talking more about it on my page, but I'm also the CMO of a music tech company startup called The Labs, and The Labs is a collaboration platform that a lot of people are also using right now to collaborate with music creators in other spaces because it's all in one workspace. So, but I've been a part of The Labs since 2008, and we are working on launching 2.0, and I handle all of the marketing and PR behind it, and you know, I'm literally the walking brand ambassador for it. But yeah, we're working on launching 2.0 with that. I'm constantly doing consultations weekly for a lot of songwriters who are trying to get in the business and trying to understand and just really want that one-on-one. I'm working on Mezzo catalog. We have a few songs that we're pitching right now to different shows. Oh my God, I'm just, it's a lot. It is a lot. I mean, if I raise this book up, you could see like the schedule. This is everything I had to do today. And this is like my whole week that's broken down. So I have to maintain my organization and communicate well. And then I have a team. You know, I'm not doing everything by myself, but I do have a team. I have a staff of 4 dope individuals that help me, you know, streamline the process.
I told you, wasn't she from?
Yeah,
you are an amazing.
Are you homeschooling as well?
Thankfully, I'm not having to homeschool as much because her school is already set up on Google Classroom.
Okay.
So, but it was really interesting, guys. Like, for me to actually sit with her and show her how to professionally send an email and attack her homework, or to send an email to notify her teachers that she was on the actual Google Classroom live and they didn't show up, just to make sure her presence was accounted for, to teach her how to CC me, like carbon copy me. You know, I've been helping her to become more organized that way. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's 12. I didn't even learn how to do all of this until I was in college. You know, so man, so it definitely has been a journey, and this is her last week in school.
Tami, thank you so much. You are a phenomenal woman. And I could definitely sit and talk to you longer than the 15-20 minutes that we had. I think you are a wealth of knowledge, and definitely out there, if you are a songwriter, an artist, you need to hit Tami up and get some knowledge. So how can people get in contact with you?
Sure. You can follow me on all things Tami LaTrell. Very easy to find. TamiLaTrell. That's on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. So just put in Tami LaTrell and my social media will come up.
Awesomeness.
Oh, and at TamiLaTrell.com. And then, of course, if you want to learn more about my company, the Mezzo Agency, you can also follow us at Mezzo Agency, MEZZO agency.com.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much,
much, Tami.
Thank you guys for having me. You're so beautiful.
Thank you. I will see you in the virtual world. I'm about to be your friend. IG, yes.
Absolutely. I'll follow you guys back. We'll stay in touch.
Thank you.
All right. Mwah. See you later. Bye-bye.